Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on this upcoming Superman film. We've had the first, I was going to say first trailer, but teaser trailer, which I guess is still the first trailer, just released about 10 minutes ago, I think roughly from when I started recording this. I watched it a couple of times just back to back just to get a good grasp of it and just see if there's anything I missed. And on the last time I was watching it, I was like, hold on, that's a character that I just missed the first time around because I didn't understand the setting of where a certain scene was happening, which we'll talk about. But I don't want to do a breakdown. What I want to do is just a general talk and just what I found the most interesting and just highlights, if you want to put it. I don't want to break it down bit by bit because every man and their dog's going to do that. You don't need to see 4 different types of breakdowns. You watch one, you've seen them all. So first thing I want to talk about, actually the first thing, let me know in the comments your various thoughts on this trailer. Does this get you more excited, less excited, or just the same? For me, I actually was going in thinking it wasn't really going to change my expectations because I'm already very much looking forward to this film. But there were certain things where I'm like, oh, okay, he's leaning much more, like James Gunn that is leaning much more into this side of Superman and just that DC world in a specific period than I thought he would be. Just because I don't think it would sell that well with the general audience, but I think he's designed it and mixed it or balanced it, at least based off the trailer, in a decent enough way where I think it might work. Of course, that's for us to wait and see in what, like 7 months time or something when the movie comes out. From what I get from that teaser trailer, I think he's managed to balance it fairly well, but obviously that's for the full movie to decide. But of course, let me know in the comment section down below whether you're more excited, less excited, about the same, as well as anything you found interesting or what you're looking forward to most from the movie based off the trailer. Let me know in the comments. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, want to show support, like the trailer, drop a like on the video. It takes 2 seconds. So the first thing I want to do or to talk about is the tone and the feel. And in regards to the looks, I actually tweeted this out, well, when I woke up after that, that teaser for the teaser trailer, which I hate that they do that, but I think I give a pass for this movie because this needs as much promotion as it can get, even though we're still 7 months away, still need as much promotion. But it gave me very much like Arrowverse feels in regards to like the comic book, like almost like ripped from the comic book and just chucked up on screen, which DC sometimes does, with the DC EU, sometimes didn't. I don't even think the Suicide Squad necessarily did it too much either, but some movies did. But I think with this one, there's a lot of that. And there's people complaining about the color palette. Reminded me very much of like an all-star Superman, which Gunn said was a heavy inspiration for this film. But specifically in the Daily Planet, and even on the streets of Metropolis, it was really giving me Smallville feels and Arrowverse feels, like even just like some of those small parts in like Supergirl, for example, even though that wasn't Metropolis, just the street feel and stuff and how they styled it, I think it leans heavily. But the Daily Planet specifically, all I could think about was the Smallville Daily Planet. It's not designed exactly the same. The movie, what we're seeing in this Superman movie, it's much more spread out, but it's just giving me that feel. And it's obviously leaning heavily into like the Christopher Reeve style. It doesn't necessarily mean it's copying it, but it's, how like there's that, like obviously the term retro futuristic and stuff, and then we're seeing like if we go to the Marvel side with Fantastic Four, like with they're leaning it's like 40s 50s, which is a lot of like the blanket retro futuristic thing that people like style that people normally point to. I feel like this Superman film is doing retro futuristic but leaning into like the late 60s 70s, which of course is where like that first Superman film came out. So that's what it feels like at the very least. In regards to the actual like emotional tone and stuff, there's no dialogue. There's like no dialogue outside of like him asking Krypto to take him, I guess, to the Fortress of Solitude. I guess because I don't think we see where he ends up after Krypto's dragging him. So in regards to the dialogue, that's for like the proper trailer to come out. Like a teaser trailer is usually just to give you that feel and look and I guess some sort of action for what the movie's got to come. And I think this teaser trailer does a lot of that. In regards to the main character, of course, we'll split into the two things. In regards to the Clark Kent style, look, once again, there's no dialogue. So you can't really, like, I think Clark Kent's the one where you need that dialogue, I think, in regards to how he acts differently and talks to people differently and stuff. In regards to his look, I know people bagged on, like, like broccoli cut, whatever they call it. Like, yeah, it looks a bit weird, but I don't know. It sort of works when he's at like the Smallville at the Kent farm, or I guess the Kent house. I guess it's like a small farm. It doesn't look like it's a very big farm, but like the Kent property and stuff when he's sitting there with his dad, who It seems alive. I think that's a modern day, like present day scene. I don't think that's a flashback. There was no Martha Kent. I do wonder if they might do a bit of a twist there where Pa Kent's alive and Martha Kent's dead. I wonder if they'll do that. That'd be interesting if they did that bit of a twist on that. But if that's present day, obviously Jonathan or Pa Kent's still alive, and he has like that similar hair. It's not his Superman hair, but it's almost like a, I don't know, like not emo, but it's sort of like leaning into that a bit, like almost like a bit of a like a punky sort of like, yeah, like I don't know how you describe it, but obviously the dialogue side will be when we get more of Clark Kent, but it's really the Superman where his actions do the speaking, and there's some fairly cool stuff like him saving a kid from the foot of, I think that's meant to be that kaiju character, and just some other things like that. One interesting thing is when he's walking like out through the crowd, I guess you could say, and he's got like the damaged suit, and like everyone's heckling him, like someone throws like a like a can or a cup or something at him. And I don't know if this is like almost like a, when your sports team's doing bad, your football team's doing bad, your baseball team's doing bad, like they should be winning and they're on a 3-game losing streak and you start to throw stuff onto the field. I don't know if that's meant to be similar to that, or if maybe he is just not well received by the public. Like Superman has been active for X amount of years or X amount of months or whatever it is, but he's still not really embraced by the public. And maybe it's the characters like Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, they're the ones that are more embraced by the public because the corporation business side pushes them. So that'd be a very interesting thing to see, but we don't know the context of where this scene specifically happens. So it's, it's hard to tell. But yeah, I think all the Superman stuff in here, whether it's just him, whether it's Lois Lane, I think looks really good. Obviously there was the shot outside the window at night where we see that big purple thing in the sky. So obviously that first look photo, which wasn't well received in regards to where he's like bent over putting on his boots, that's a real thing from the movie. So it'd be interesting to see what the context of that is, who specifically the villain is. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see there. But if one thing we do see in a couple of different things is the Fortress of Solitude. Once again, playing heavily off the comics, which I guess people go, oh, the Christopher Reeve stuff, but that was very much like the comics as well. But one character we do see on the ground, and Superman seems to be like crying over them, they seem to be like damaged, is Kellex, which is like his robot friend, who I think James Gunn is going to use this character as like the emotional piece in regards to like this is maybe like Clark or Cal's only friend. Like once he found the Fortress of Solitude and stuff, this was his friend growing up or through his tough periods and stuff like that. So that'll be an interesting take if they go down that and then Kellex gets damaged. I don't know who would get into the Fortress of Solitude. I don't know if that's going to be Lex Luthor himself, someone like the Engineer, maybe Ultraman, who we do see a bit in this trailer where he's like fighting Superman in the baseball stadium. I was going to say baseball park, but I guess it's a stadium. So that'll be interesting, but it looks like I didn't even think that, I just didn't cross my mind that we'd get that character, and James Gunn will probably have some fun with that character as well. Of course, Lois is in this trailer, but similar to Clark, we don't hear her speak. So it's hard to really judge Lois. I mean, she looks good with David Corenswet. Obviously, their relationship is going to be a thing in this film. It's not going to be like just their, I guess, buddies in the Daily Planet bullpen, or at least on the Superman side, she knows who he is. So there's going to be a relationship there. I wonder if they're going to do the thing where she's in a relationship with Superman, but not Clark Kent. I don't know. Would they do that? I don't know if they do that. I think they just make it that she eventually learns throughout the movie, and that's maybe where the relationship can develop. I'm not too sure, but yeah, like Clark, you don't hear much from her, so it's really hard to get a grasp of it. I did notice that like we don't really see like Jimmy Olsen and all them. We saw them in that teaser for the teaser, but they don't show them in this one. So I thought that was fairly interesting. I just realized that. But we do get a couple of shots of Lex Luthor in varying circumstances, like him in his office, him in a more threatening position with a gun, him like seems to be like maybe in the third act with some cuts on him and stuff after he's obviously been in a bit of a tussle with someone. I don't know if it's necessarily Superman, but someone. He's one where you can sort of get an impression of him without him speaking, and I think Nicholas Hoult looks pretty good for the part. Obviously, it's very quick in regards to what he's doing, but yeah, I think I'm a fan of it. But once again, you have to see a bit more of it, but I think it's pretty good so far. And the final thing I want to talk about is just the supporting characters. So some of the other characters we see throughout the film, or throughout the teaser trailer, might I say, and these are mainly like those other heroes. Like we see a bit of Mr. Terrific, we see Guy Gardner using his Green Lantern ring. Looks decent. I think I don't know if it's going to look exactly like that in that Lanterns TV show, but that's for us to wait and see whenever they release the trailer for that show. So we won't really touch upon that too much. Hulk Girl probably gets the coolest shot, I would say, in the trailer where she sort of like flies down. I think she's attacking the kaiju. She probably gets the coolest shot. But Mr. Terrific gets the most. You only see like a bit of metamorpho. It's like a close up of his face. But you can see like he's obviously going to be very comic accurate. Though I do wonder if there's, I don't know, it seems like he's going to be metamorpho the entire time. Like, it's not going to be like an on-off thing, which people did theorize about. So it looks like he's going to be metamorpho all the time, which isn't a plus. I don't think that's necessarily a plus in regards to him, at the very least. For us viewing, it doesn't really matter too much, does it? But yeah, but Mr. Terrific gets like the most shots, I think, out of those supporting characters. But we have heard from Gunn that he's going to be the biggest of those supporting characters. Like, he's the main character of the supporting characters, if that makes sense. So I guess it's pretty logical you'd show him the most in this teaser trailer, just to get people familiar that, okay, that's a character that's, you know, going to be of some importance. But I think overall, this did the job it needed to as a teaser trailer. It's not too long. It doesn't spoil the plot for the most part. It shows the kaiju and stuff, but I have a feeling that kaiju might be in the opening act. I have a feeling, or at least in the opening half. I don't think that's like a third act thing. I think that's opening half, opening act type of situation. And then they'll lean into whatever's happening with like Lex Luthor, Ultraman, the Engineer, all that stuff in as we move further and further into the film. So I think that's what it seems at the very least. But yeah, I don't think it spoils much. I know there's a whole thing about the thing in the sky, but they don't show who's causing it. We still don't know exactly what's going on there. So I think it did the job it needed to. The music sounded good, like the guitar and stuff. It's very nostalgic while also feeling new and like like new in a couple of different ways. New as in like, this is a new Superman, this is a new feel for this Superman, but also this is a new world. So it will be interesting to see what the general public think of this. Of course, there's still 7 months until the movie comes out, but of course they've released this trailer, this teaser trailer, which will be playing throughout Christmas and stuff like that. So I think it's done its job. I'm pretty happy with it. I have no real issues with it. And yeah, so hopefully it is well received by the general public, because that's what matters. It doesn't matter if the biggest Superman in the world and the biggest Superman fan in the world cares, or I care, or you care. Really, it's about the random who might come across the YouTube trailer in a week or something, cares about and decides to buy a ticket. So hopefully it convinces them to go watch it, because I think most of us were going to go see it regardless of whether the trailer looked good, bad, or even if they uploaded it at all. So yeah. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it, show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on this. Are you excited from it? Let me know. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.